Hello and welcome to episode 34 of The Salt Mine. So this week we'll be covering recruitment, as a lot of teams are preparing for their freshers fairs and we have a lot of graduates looking for new teams. We thought we'd cover what we think works, what we think doesn't work, and different recruiting methods, with the hope of new teams maybe reading this and seeing what we do, what works, what was done in the past, what got the likes of me and Dave into the sport compared to what gets the freshers into the sport. Now, we have lots of guests because our usual cast are all too busy being adults. So if you could all introduce yourselves, please.
Sure. Hello. My name is Matt. I play for London Unspeakables. I've been playing for about 2 years now. I was captaining last season as well.
We are Susie and Zach.
So she's currently captain and I'm beta coach. So been
We don't do anything
involved in the recruitment for quite a while now.
Hi, I'm Khan. I'm the coach of Unicorns Quidditch, both Metro Unicorns and Minicorns, and also the Ponycorns. I've been playing for 2.5 years, like since Quidditch started in Turkey. I'm also chasing and seeking for Metro Unicorns. So,
Excellent. So to start with, we're just going to discuss what recruiting methods we use to get us into Quidditch and sort of what worked on us and see if there's any disparity between when we first started. So I started playing Quidditch in September 2013, which was Quidditch's proper big season in the UK. And how I got involved was there was a little video put about Quidditch on my freshers page for university. And then I went along and saw the Quidditch stall and it looked fairly normal. And I was like, oh yeah, this might be all right for a laugh. I had a chat with Ben Honey. And we got on quite well. And then I talked to some of the players, and it all seemed quite good. So I thought I'd just go along as a bit of a joke to see what it was like. And then I went to my first session and went from there. But what definitely sold it to me as a fresher is that essentially the Quidditch players didn't look like utter losers. I think that's what a lot of people expect to see at the freshers fair and when they see Quidditch. But I had people like Ben, Andrew and Anna who all looked fairly sporty and I was fairly fit at the time. So I was like, oh, maybe this isn't like a LARPing or a reenactment society, which isn't really my thing. Maybe this is not essentially a bit more serious, but a bit more taxing, could be a bit more interesting. And I went from there. But it was definitely the conversation with Ben saying it'll be a bit of a laugh. Oh, it is a real sport, it's quite active. Definitely is what convinced me. So what convinced you guys? What was the recruitment tactic that was used on you?
Mine was kind of blackmail. So I've been playing for about 2 years now. I started in August. I moved to London from New Zealand end of July, and a great Quidditch person named Claire Jarvis, who I happened to meet happenstance a long time ago, basically said, cool, I'll help you move, get you set up with your bonds and everything else. On like, quid pro quo, you've got to give Quidditch a try. And I'd never played it before. I thought, okay, cool, I'll come along. It'll be a bunch of Harry Potter nerds running around a field. So I rock up to like North London, not knowing anyone, still a bit jet lagged, only been in the country for a few days. And basically it was a bunch of very, very fit nerds. The first people I met were people like Jan, and I think Jay was there in my first session as well. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I started beating straight away. They told me I wasn't completely shit, which stroked my ego, which worked out quite well. It kept me around. And then afterwards we went to the pub. And then I got introduced to the other side of Quidditch with just very open conversations about relationships and never have I ever. So thankfully, I think having Jay there as like a slightly more grounded person probably is what kept me around. But no, it was just, I think the thing that attracted me initially, it was just good, friendly people. It wasn't a LARPing society, like you said, Jay. There were, you've got your slightly more eccentric fan people, but it also caters to like the sporty people that just actually enjoy the game. And yeah, they became, I mean, even now, just some of my closest friends. I went on to captain. And now like Quidditch probably makes up a good 60-70% of what I actually do outside of my day job. So Yeah, no, for the last couple of years, it's been great. London is still my team, someone I love very much, and yeah, it's all because Claire Jarvis told me she wouldn't help me move here if I didn't come throw a ball around. So that's it. You can blame her. Cool.
I mean, for me, I literally just looked at the taster session leaflet in Sheffield and went along to it.
It was literally just a group of friends that were bored in lecture and decided, well, we could set up a society, and went for Quidditch. And the only reason I went was because I was a massive Harry Potter fan at the time, and a bit of fun and messing around. But it was actually contact at that point, weren't we?
No, not really.
But it was energetic and really good fun. And then at the pub afterwards, like as you were saying, it was very. I kind of realised that I'd met a group of people that I was going to be friends with in like the group of weirdos. So yeah, I never left.
I'm just enough of a hipster that I wanted to do something different, and it was either play Quidditch or play squash at uni, and then went, oh wait, Quidditch is the more weird one. I'll do that.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
I mean, at my time here, there were no taster session. No one was playing Quidditch, and it started as a joke between me and Jan Kaitas, one of my best friends, and we were like, talking about it on the table. But then, like, we started to watch the videos from, especially the USA, because those were the only videos available back then. And then we started to like translate the rule book and plan how can we play it. And then we went to our school sport department, and they asked us, have you ever played this? And we were like, no. And we decided to do an exhibition game. So we announced it everywhere in the university. And until that time, I was not even thinking about playing. I was just helping out my friends about translation, about the organization. But the day came for the exhibition match, and one person was missing, and I had to play. So I got in, and since then I'm playing. I don't know. It's really different for me. I mean, different than all other sports. That's what caught me, I think. The ideology behind the sport.
So mine actually, despite getting into Quidditch proper after Jay, way back in the early months of 2012, I went along to a Harry Potter sock attempt at Quidditch because I fancied the president of the society. And so I went along, and we had a throw around using bamboo canes as brooms and a stretched out wire coat hanger stuck into another bamboo cane as a hoop. And something a little bit bigger than a tennis ball, which was a bit grim, I'll be honest. So and we did that twice, I think, and then I put it aside after I struck out horribly with aforementioned attractive president. Never went along. I even joined the committee that year of the Harry Potter sock. Never went along because I was trying to pull. But so then it came to what it would have been 2014, about March 2014, so York has got a bit of a rivalry with Lancaster, and there was the promise that if York formed a Quidditch team, we could go and kick in Lancaster's Quidditch team. I'm like, right, let's go fuck them up. Someone on my course had played in Texas for like 4 years, was like, yes, team, let's do this. That game never even ended up happening, but I went along, and I was more athletic than everyone except Tom Hardman, which, I mean, to be fair, he's quite fit, so I didn't feel like that was a bad thing. I had actually come from live action roleplay, so I went along to that and was just like, wow, this is sporty as shit. So yeah, showed up, was better than the average, went along to Mercian, had a great time. Some people got the kit off. It was killer. And yeah, been here for what, 3.5, 4 years.
Awesome. So I think there's quite a varied approach there. So we're going to move on to the actual meat of the episode now, which is going to be recruitment strategies. So I'm led to believe that lots of unis have very sort of different recruitment strategies. I certainly know the recruitment strategies of my time at university change from year to year. And I'm sure we're all dying to know what magic potion Sheffield are feeding people so they can recruit so much to get a third team. But so when I'll talk about when I was captain, we kind of went against the grain of recruiting everyone. I think in Quidditch, there's a lot of thoughts that when you're on your stall, you should be trying to recruit as many people as possible. And with a lot of niche sports, that's the same because you need the numbers. Whereas in Bangor, we weren't that desperate for the numbers. I was quite happy with the squad I had. So I wanted to try and kind of boost it for the positive. So we definitely targeted people, not necessarily like your rugby players, but we targeted people that looked athletic and that looked fit. So we had our very rugby-esque looking kit on at the what's it called, Freshers Fair. We had like our trophies and medals and shit all laid out. We had some hoops outside with people chucking it around. But we purposely chose our like athletic looking people, and obviously because Quidditch people are shallow, our better looking people and our charismatic people to be on the stall, because the last thing I need is some weirdo with no personality trying to recruit. Trying to recruit people to play Quidditch. And we purposely targeted people that looked athletic. And that isn't to say that we turned people away, but with people like Callum, for example, we made an extra effort to kind of get him to sign up and nurture him at the session, because they're the sort of people we wanted to attract. We wanted to attract the more athletic types. And obviously we did the flyers thing and you should come along and talking to people. But I think our recruitment strategy was definitely, let's build a sports team opposed to let's recruit as many people as possible. But Sheffield, we're all dying to know, what is the recruitment strategy that has garnered such a high yield?
So it's probably quite clear that Sheffield used a bit of a grape shot fire technique we want everyone, we want as many people as we possibly can. First part of that is stupidly high amounts of flyering. Between literally just me and Eddie, in 2 days of the fairs, loosed 1,000 flyers just to everyone. With like, you got to have different lines for different people. Like if you see big rugby looking lads, you just walk up to them and go, "Hey, do you want to play better rugby?" Just battle with everyone you can.
They'll remember, because so many people, if you just hand them a flyer, are going to look at it and go, "Jesus, I'm never playing that."
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that you're actually properly starting a conversation. And the way we did that was to make sure that we had loads of people like me and Zach who were reasonably confident going up and starting a conversation, and we have them in kit, visible in sensible places around like our university sports fairs and things, and had them actually like engaging in decent conversation. So giving people something to remember. It's not like give a flyer out and leave it. It's to make sure this is a conversation with everything that you give out.
The second ingredient then of the magic potion, after you've got the flyering in,
you don't want to tell them all the ingredients.
it's just the player retention afterwards. It's just the very first couple of sessions. Once you've got loads and loads of people to come along to the intro sessions, you just got to make sure to not scare them away.
Yeah. So you've got to make sure that you're running good like taster sessions and stuff if that's the route that you're going. So
yeah.
I think I was always being quite good. Like I really enjoyed my first one. But like making sure that you've got.
So what do you mean by scare them away?
Yeah.
Like, are you talking like just going too heavy too quickly, or?
Yeah, no. A lot of it is trying not to go too heavy too quickly, because like if you don't want to be doing like a heavy fitness session the first time or anything. You don't want to be doing heavy things. You want to just make it fun, but make it clear it's a sport. That's about what you need to do.
Yeah, I remember being.
Okay. I think
do contact, for example.
So what London sort of did over the last year, I mean, we are very advantaged by the fact that we are in London. So obviously we don't have a freshers for anything. So 2-3 times a year, we'll chuck 50 quid at Facebook. We'll make a big public event, and we'll actually specifically set up like a taster session. And we did that, I think it was February, about a month before BQC last year. And we had 60 people turn up, which we did not expect. Now that had everything. That had your London people looking for something to do as like a once-off. You had your Harry Potter fans all showing up in their Gryffindor and Ravenclaw and whatever. And then you had like this sort of in between people who were actually genuinely interested to see what it was about. And so I think it's quite important that for us, we sort of, similar to what Jay said before, is sort of, okay, who are the people that are clearly going to stick around? Who are people that are look interested? And yeah, I think not going too heavy-handed, but also not holding back in that. Before we sort of did like a nice, easy, did like an exhibition match, we practiced some passing. No, we found it a lot better just to throw people into it. So you give them a brief explanation. This is a keeper, this is a chaser. And we go. And we actually bring contact into that a little bit as well. So we don't get people like hitting each other off the bat, but like definitely like grab, wrap, body block. And then as the day goes on, like we'll play a good 3-4 scrimmages and we'll actually encourage people to tackle so people can ease it into it. We'll teach them how to fall safely. But I think like it is a sport. And I think as part of that, we definitely sort of push that. And I think that actually, I don't know if gain the respect is like the right word, but actually show people, hey, this is a serious thing. You know, if you want to play competitively and push it, like this is what it's actually about. The other thing we also did is we usually have someone there, like I know Jay's been to a couple, and we can actually point to important people and say, well, this is a coach for Team UK, this person plays for Team UK. Like these people do this, the organizer, like it's be able to like cite specific stats and wrap some stuff off and just introduce them to other people that legitimize it. Yeah, I think you kind of need to give it absolutely everything. This is what Quidditch really is for us, and that's what worked really well for London. You get people who end up being really passionate and want to keep coming back because they sort of see that reflected in the team that what's going. Yeah, I think cool, good.
I mean, the number one thing in that first session is to actually play a game of Quidditch. You've got to make sure you go straight in and make sure you show people what it's like, and it doesn't matter if they get the rules wrong. Don't tell them about all of that. Don't complicate things. Just let it be chaos and go for it.
Just watch everyone like pick their broom up when they catch a ball every time and then realize I'm fixing it. Everyone does it.
Make sure people find it funny. Make sure you can make jokes about it because it's getting the atmosphere of I had a really good time. Everybody was really friendly and like and fun and amusing. Like that's what gets people coming back. It's like having that sense of community. It was one of the things that kept me going back for so long. So
cool.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me like, how do you get so many players? You have 3 teams. Well, we have 5 teams in one university currently.
Wow.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like we don't convince people to stay. We just attract them. Now we have certain strategies. I want to start with my favorite, the toilets. Okay, the toilets. So we're using these bumper stickers for male and female toilets differently. We put them on the urinals of men, and it says like, drop whatever you're holding and pick a broom. And we're using a different one, stop whatever you're doing and pick a broom for female toilets. So this is really effective, believe me. And we're doing this to the every toilets in every department in our university. This is my one of my favorite marketing moves. The second thing is, I think all of you have like the day where the student clubs, introduce themselves to the freshers, right? So on those days, we do like small contests, like we put our keeper, and this is the last year's MVP, try to make a goal on him. Or this is the last year's beater MVP, try to beat him. And we give away our extra jerseys or extra T-shirts that we have made. So this really attracts people. Then, of course, the flyer thing. We do it all the time. We harass people. Like, take this, come to Quidditch. This is great. I mean, it's not like, come to Quidditch, we're great. It's like trying to find a common thing with the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about convincing them. It's about attracting them. Then, at the end of the day, there are like maybe 50, 60 people coming to our training, and then we just let the chaos happen, and they play and they like it, and then we got into the serious business. You know, we had one guy who thought, like, we were running in the stadium, right? That guy thought we were the rowing team. Okay, we were running that hard. We were running and the push-ups, and he just immediately came and started to run with us like 4 kilometers, right? Not speaking, and he stopped running and he's like, "Yo, this is the rowing team, right?" And we're like, "No, this is Quidditch." And he's like, "What? You run 4 kilometers for Quidditch?" We're like, "Well, we run actually 6." So, and then he started Quidditch, and he's still the captain of the mini course today. So yeah, things like these. I mean, attracting people, showing them that it's a serious business. We're going to international tournaments. We're doing national tournaments. I mean, these are the things. I mean, it's not about convincing them; it's attracting them.
So when you're, I think a fairly good strat is, as we said, put people on your stall that at freshers fairs that kind of reflect the people that you're going to try and attract. So to quote my good friend Dan Trick, hide your weirdos, like really, really hide your weirdos. It's like nobody, there'll be people who are really keen on Quidditch, and that is great. People being keen on Quidditch is what has kept this sport going. But you want the ones that can say it in a way that doesn't terrify people, and who kind of present the image of, no, we are a real sport. And I think there's kind of two approaches on how you can kind of bring people in. It sounds like Sheffield will just take everybody and then kind of sort them into squads later based on ability and kind of outlook. Whereas it sounds like, sorry?
We only do tournaments, really. We all train, unless there's like a big tournament coming up, we have like all train together and try and like let everyone bounce off each other a bit.
Sure. And like, so whereas like I guess the other approach is if you're only trying to put together a single squad that at kind of at recruitment level, and maybe in your taster session you want to include a fair amount of contact. You want to go, yeah, no, this is a serious sport, and you roll the dice a bit because you'll do a better job. You'll do a better job attracting sporty people if you come in with the, no, this is actually quite an athletic sport angle, whereas you might put off some of the people who are less keen, who are more interested in the Harry Potter aspect. So I guess that'd be an interesting point to come on to, and like we've talked about it a bit, but what do you do in that first session? What is your first session once you've got everybody's names on the list and you bring everyone, not necessarily like a give it a go at Freshers Fair, but like your first proper training session?
So I think I always write off the taster session. I think that gives a good, well, not write off, like we do the basic stuff, but I don't expect anyone to learn in the taster session because everyone's, you know, caught up with the novelty and no one really knows what's going on. But like in Bangor, our first proper training session, like in Bangor's difficult because we always trained quite hard. We were one of the first properly like sporty teams for the era of when I was like a fresher and things like that. So the first sessions were always about like the fundamentals of the game. So it was passing and catching and shooting and basically what a beater does. And it was just very basic skills. I think what I see quite a lot of is teams jumping the gun quite a bit and trying to teach, you know, not even complex tactics, but any form of tactics or any form of playing ability before a lot of players can pass and throw a ball, because there's no point me teaching someone how to, you know, run an offensive scheme or what route to run or like pass blocking or anything like that if they can't catch a ball. So yeah, first proper session was always fundamental skills, and from that you can always gauge a level. I thought, like at Bangor, the captain and the vice captain in the first session would always take a bet on who they thought the captain was going to be in 3 years' time, and I think the first session really does show who kind of has it and who doesn't, and who needs nurturing and who doesn't. And I guessed right, which I was very proud of when I was captain. But I think it is just about building fundamental skills and then just letting people play, because like the guarding rule, I couldn't give too much of a shit if people don't really understand that in the first session. But watching someone drop a ball 20 times breaks my heart at the best of times. So we always try to ensure that the fundamentals were sound before we did anything else.
So when Unspeakables host a taster session, quite often what at least what I would get them to do is I'd say to existing players, okay, watch people. If you see something or someone with some potential, let me know, and then I'll go have a chat to them. And basically, we just want to make sure that these people keep coming back. So normally by the time the first proper session rolls around, we've already got an idea when those people come back of like, okay, the skills I sort of have, like this sort of direction we go. And then we'll just chat. Like in short, because our taster sessions, we usually do stations. So everyone tries beating, everyone tries keeping, everyone tries chasing, everyone tries seeking. So we'll sort of have an idea what people are really going to sort of do off the bat, and we'll go through the basics. We'll always do some contact quite early on, just sort of bring that in and just make sure people are comfortable with falling and hitting each other. And then we'll break it up. So we'll go on to beaters. Beaters go do their thing. Chasers go do their thing, and they'll just run passing, catching. They'll go through the basic stuff. We'll teach people how to deal with a napalm. We'll teach people how to catch and cut, or how to block a shot, and it just go through your basics without dropping into the without jumping straight. So like Jay said, the tactical stuff, like teaching people how to do like a compact defense isn't the easiest thing to do on your first try. But you sort of like ease them into it a little bit, and then just sort of focus more on games. We usually do games a lot for the first couple of sessions, just to get people comfortable with it and learning how to sort of read a pitch. And then at the same time, like if someone's not doing as well the second time, we'll say, okay, well maybe give chasing and go see if that works out for you. Yeah, and actually other games as well. So we'll do another thing. Ultimate Quaffle is another one London does quite a lot, just to teach about positioning and catching and moving and awareness. And beta battles, Hunger Games is another good one. Yeah, so we'll sort of use other games to try and teach people the fundamentals of the Quidditch, and also just getting used to just riding a broomstick is probably one of the biggest things that is really overlooked a lot. Like every drill we do, passing, catching, you've got a broom between your legs at all times, just until it becomes, like for us, it becomes second nature for 3 weeks. But when you're brand new and you're pulling it out between your legs every other time, it's just, yeah, pass, catch, and run with a broom.
So how important do you think that a strong social media game is? Because obviously, I think the team that got it right best first will be Bristol, and they had a booming recruitment in their first couple of seasons. And like we see teams do variably good social media especially in the run up to freshers, but kind of like throughout the year they do some things like player profiles. So how important do you think it is, and what would you do to have a good social media game?
I think it's being consistent. So we have a pretty active Facebook page with events. So like we'll post our events, but actually I think Twitter we've found. So basically I still do it. I've got a tweet deck set up. So basically anytime someone mentions Quidditch within 20 miles of like the London city centre, it comes up on our feed. And often I'll come in to work on a Monday and I'll look at it, and there's been people that have seen us at Clapham. So we'll actually talk to them. And we've gained a couple of people doing that. People like Quidditch, what is it, to take photos and stuff. And there's a bit of back and forth. We found that a really good way to sort of, it's this actual thing. We'll link them to like EG or the Quidditch UK website, or hey, we're here if you want to talk. And like, it just sort of like really sort of pushes that and makes us look more legitimate. Sneaking in some nice gifts from BQC or something looks good too, because those slow motion shots that were taken at last BQC have done really well for us. Just things like that. But also during our last taster session, just an explanation of the rules, some nice photography that's happened at tournaments, just like, hey, this is Quidditch, this is how stuff works, and just just being active and just reminding people that, hey, this is a thing, I think is really what sort of pushed us to that. I mean, once again, we are advantaged by the fact we are in London, but I think just constantly having, if your social media person is doing something every day, just one post does heaps and heaps. It's helped us a lot in the last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with us. I totally agree with you. I mean, we have 3 people for each social media channel, 3 people for Twitter, 3 people for Instagram, 3 people for Facebook, constantly posting about our activities and everything. And I think, I mean, it's not, as I said, like with the bumper sticker sample, it's not only about social media. Like when people come to our taster session, if we really like their playing style, or somehow we think they're physically good for Quidditch, we give them away these cards. Yeah, just these cards. So yeah, the social media is not only happening in the social media. It only also happens in the real life too. So it's really important, especially for Quidditch, because not a lot of people know about it, and you need to be heard.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I think that's moved that on. So next, what we'll talk about is what I've always thought was quite key for recruitment, is not just training; it's the social side. And I think the social side always does reflect what style of club you are. So in Bangor, because Bangor is so small, we were always a very close team, so we socialised quite a lot. So the line between, formalised team socialising and just a bunch of mates hanging out quickly blurred. Like I saw Anna and Andrew and Liam and Fabian and all that at least every other day of my time at university. But what do people think quite good socials are for the first few? We always tried to do something memorable at Bangor, so we'd always do like dress up socials. It was mainly dressing up. So as soon as you see like the captain dress up like a moron and get pissed and slag off the vice captain, everyone's laughing, having a good time. I think it put everyone at ease. And we'd always try and do socials that kind of let people hang loose and make a conscious effort to get to know everyone. But what social, methods do people use to keep recruiting? Because I think the social side in those first couple of weeks is almost more important than the actual trainings, because you have to learn to like the people or else you're not going to stay. So what methods do people do?
Yeah, so Sheffield had a very defined social schedule for the first few weeks. A lot of it is recognizing the breadth of different people that you've got and making sure you have a big, really traditional bar crawl, get pissed, see the captain get pissed, get costumes. And another one very soon after, you need to make sure you have a very relaxed non-drinking social, because if you're recruiting Quidditch, you're gonna get some nerds. You're gonna want people like me. You're gonna want to have a social where you just go and watch a film.
If you're recruiting just on numbers, especially, you want to get a range of things that people can get involved in. And as well, if you're having a lot of stuff going on, you're more likely to get people turning up to multiple things and like forming actual friendships, which was really good because we got so many freshers last year, which was Sheffield's first proper season, that they all made really good friends, and there's like groups of best friends that are on our team now. And like I'd like to think we can take credit, probably not, but having that good range means you get like a constant stream of people.
What we do in our socially is we have to keep in mind that people are mostly coming to Quidditch to be socialized. We have to keep in mind. So we're already doing 4 trainings a week, or 4 days a week. So we're already seeing each other a lot. But what we do socially is we always try to make dinners after trainings. After every training session, eating together. This is number one thing that binds our team, I think. And those chats in those dinners are really important for freshers, because they both get to know us. They both get to know each other, and they learn about Quidditch more than they learn in the trainings in the first weeks, because we always talk about Quidditch, other teams, other tournaments. So those dinners are very, very important, I think. And also, we do a lot of concerts. Yeah, we go a lot of concerts, basically, as a team, like small concerts, but still important social events, I think.
So on that, so Bangor, we always had a day where we'd go to, we had a pub that was our sponsor. So at Wednesday at 8 o'clock, that was our only formalised, this is when we will socialise as a team. We hung out quite a lot, people would always post on the page to say, does anyone want to go and play basketball, or go to the pub, or go see this, that, and the other. But something that I I think needs to be made clear to freshers. Especially when we did it, is like if someone posts on the team page, I don't know how other teams work, like me, Liam, and Fabian are going to the pub. Feel free to join. That does extend to the freshers as well, and that the freshers can post going to the pub or going to play football or going to watch this, that, and the other. Anyone's free to join. I think making that clear is key early on, because something that we found is like we'd say, "Oh, we're going to the pub," and then none of the freshers would say anything. We were like, "Well, we know they've got fuck all to do. It's their first year." And then talking to them, we were like, "Well, we weren't sure if we were sort of like allowed to go because they didn't really know us." So I think it's saying, like from the off, like if there's an invitation on the team page, that does include everyone. It doesn't matter if you've been playing for 3 years or played for 2 minutes. Like everyone is welcome to be a part of the social scene. And I just think it's really important to harbour that sort of culture in your team, that it is everyone and it isn't just individual cliques. Because I think once you create that, it can make freshers and certain people feel ostracised, and that's not what you want to go for.
Yeah, I think with the community social side, it's different for different people. So London Unspeakables, we build a lot of our team is built from new players. Unlike, say, you look at like Werewolves or Raptors, who like there's a lot of established players with established relationships through Team UK or just playing against or with each other for a long time. So Unspeakables, I mean, often we only train once a week, every Saturday. So often after that, we'll go to the pub. During summer stuff, we'd obviously go to the supermarket. And we'll just drink in the park afterwards, and we'll just hang out. We had our last AGM. We just had like 20 pizzas, and we had a good like 20 of us just hanging out, and we did AGM, and it was quite nice. But a lot of us are friends. We do quite adult things outside of that, and it extends to a lot of community teams. I know the Werewolves do like a monthly social where they just go out and get absolutely shit faced sometimes. They went to a ball pit nightclub, and they've just got a really nice sort of tight knit thing, and it's the same thing. Everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter if you've been with the team for a week or for a long time. They've just got a really nice sort of thing going. The same thing goes with London. Especially with the taster session, we try and set that up straight away. Hey, cool, we're going to go grab a drink down at Syndicate. It's a 10-minute walk. And then we just go and we hang out and we talk to these new people. And we just try and avoid Quidditch and actually just go on for like the real people sort of side and just sort of see what other people are about. So I think obviously when you don't have like Jay was saying, he'd see like his banger mates 3-4 times a week rather. But yeah, with the community teams, I think sometimes you do need to put in that little bit more effort sometimes, and just like, hey, this is going on, we're going to this person's house, or we're going to go have like a barbecue at the captain's or whatever. I think it's the same thing. Just sort of you're constantly talking, constantly chatting, seeing what's going on, and then you sort of notice both like the group as a whole sort of starts to grow, but also you just notice like individual people sort of growing their own groups and become like best mates and doing their own thing as well. So there's different ways of doing it, but it needs, I think we've sort of found that we facilitate a lot of that, a lot more. Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, no, Jay's point about being cliquey is quite an important one. So if you got to avoid making it like 3 people and everyone else just sort of feels like they're not really in the team. So like before we did our big recruitment drive, the Sheffield people who were around last year, we had a horrifying group chat that would freeze your soul.
Bring this up.
And we made sure we put a blanket ban on putting any of the new freshers into this group chat. We went like, right, if we want to include everyone in the big chat, we do it afterwards. We do a new thing. We make sure everyone is involved.
Yeah, because we have such a close group of friends, like me and Zach and the other people that live in the house that we're currently in, who'd all started playing at the same time, got really close, and we're all socialising together regularly for the first season. And we had absolutely horrific in-jokes, and we had to find a way of introducing new people into the group in a way that like they could actually make friends and want to hang around with us without completely scaring them off. So I think we managed that quite well. Like Zach said, with making a new group chat that wasn't horrifying was a really, really good start. But the fact that we've constantly advertised on the group, like you were saying before, that somebody's going around to someone's house or the pub or something, we always made sure that was like clearly open to everyone, which we used the group chat for. So it's managed to create like even though there's loads of us, there's like a reasonable web of people being friends in the team.
Yeah, what we do about that chat thing is actually the opposite of what you're doing. We're just throwing people into our worst conversations immediately.
Oh God.
In the first minute.
This chat what?
Yeah, so that, I mean, if they're gonna get frightened and go away, they should go away as soon as they can. I mean, why should they wait, right? So they
So,
should see
like-
our
like-
worst faces, like,
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
Then, so like if you can't deal with this, then too bad, kind of thing, or
I mean, not like that, not in that
no,
way,
no,
I
no.
mean,
But like this is us. So like you gotta.
yeah, this is us. I mean, this is us. We talk about shit. We send our, I don't know, photos with underwears to each other, whatever.
What?
Whatever you're doing with your team, I don't know. So yeah, basically. Right, that's an awkward silence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
Don't know
on
if it's a
that
UK thing or not.
absolutely phenomenal final point.
This
We'll
is
wrap
how
up.
Turkey
About
does
to
it.
hit, I think about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But I think the main thing, even though everyone's just had lots of different strategies, it is just about putting yourself out there and being keen and being relentless. Because for every one person that you recruit, you are going to have 5 people that tell you, you know, what you're doing is fucking ridiculous and that Quidditch isn't a sport. And a game I quite like to play on the freshest stall is, if anyone made a bitchy comment due to my quite, you know, competitive personality, was call them out on it and get them to come and talk to me in front of it, because I quite enjoyed asking a girl why the fuck she just rolled her eyes at me. But that's just me. Maybe your recruiting strategies are a bit tame. But it's about putting yourself out there. It's about being confident as well. No one is going to believe that Quidditch is reputable and worth doing if you don't believe it. So there's no point going up and stuttering and umming and ahhing. You've got to believe it. You've got to believe what you're selling. It's the same if you're selling anything. It's just Quidditch is a bit more of a niche product. But yeah, thank you to all of our guests. Mainly aimed at new teams. If you've got any questions, please post below. I'm sure everyone will be quite keen to help you out, because it looks like we've got a lot of teams having their first big turnover where a lot of their all-stars are leaving, or a lot of emerging teams that are kind of hoping to push through to BQC and sort of away from the lower level and trying to achieve a better standard of playing. So thank you to all of our guests. It's been a pleasure having you, and we will see you at the next episode.